Position. Go. Get ready. Go.
Ensuring that her picture captures every detail of the mannequin she just dressed, Yvette Mationg is also ensuring that her second chance at a better life doesn't go to waste.
Without this place, I'd be lost. I'd probably be on drugs or in prison again, or, worse, dead,
Yvette is part of Homeboy Industries, a gang rehabilitation and re-entry program that eases former gang members back into society.
Down the line, I could actually do this, for a living.
Yvette is now a trainee for Homeboy Threads, the newest business venture of Homeboy Industries, which specializes in upcycled clothing.
I do love clothing and makeup and accessories and all that, so I get to play with all that stuff.
It's garments made from pre-existing materials such as vintage or secondhand clothing, scraps, or fabric remnants. Not only does upcycling help address the environmental challenges associated with fast fashion, but it promotes conscious consumerism.
I get to be a part of something big. I had no idea.
Homeboy Threads CEO Chris Sawicki says their 20,000 square foot warehouse in Commerce is capable of processing thousands of tons of clothing that ended up in landfills.
Clothes got offshored from the United States, right? So that would go overseas and kind of people didn't know exactly what happened to it. There's definitely reuse, but there was also a lot of waste that was created.
The EPA found that 85% of the world's textiles end up in landfills. The average person produces about 81 pounds of textile a year. Globally, the fashion industry produces 92 million tons of waste.
It's a very nascent industry, and the part that we really specialize in terms of sorting, grading, and pre-processing to maximize reuse and recycling is also still kind of just getting started.
And they say one man's trash is another man's treasure. Between the trash of others, trainees like Yvette have found not only a treasured second chance, but confidence to be their best.
If somebody would hire me and teach me as I went along, oh yes, I would do it. Quick.
Because when it comes to second chances, it's not about making things of the past right. But for trainees like Yvette, it's about proving that they can build a better future for themselves. Breaking musical barriers in a male-dominated genre. I'm Christian Galeno in North Hollywood with the ladies of
Conexión Divina,
who are breaking barriers with their new influence and taste of music every single day. Intertwining the sounds of requinto guitar with melancholic and lovelorn lyrics comes naturally for Conexión Divina's lead vocalist Liz Trujillo. And in typical Gen Z fashion, she took to TikTok to make her voice heard.
During that time, I was doing my own covers of what's called Ivan Cornejo covers. Top 5 favorite Ivan Cornejo songs.
Trujillo was born and raised in South Central Los Angeles. Requinto guitar player Ashley Valenzuela comes from sunny Yuma, Arizona. And bass player Sandra Calixto from the Lone Star State. One would think the sisterhood Conexión Divina shares is the work of divine intervention. It was social media algorithms that made them cross paths.
It all started with social media with me and Ashley through Instagram because she appeared on my Explore page and I hit her up one day and mentioned the girl group.
Valenzuela and Calixto band together and began the search for their third mate. They found her when one of Trujillo's covers appeared on their TikTok feed.
We didn't really know what she looked like because in her covers it was literally just her shoulder, her hair, and the guitar, but the voice.
Conexión Divina, which means divine connection in Spanish, is recognized as the world's first all-women Gen Z Sierreño group, a subgenre of regional Mexican music, an often used catch-all term that includes a variety of genres from mariachi to the rapid-paced duranguense.
It's gonna take him back to the old music, Mexican music, a little bit, and also to the new school, the kids, what the kids are listening to, basically.
Their fresh sound is changing and revitalizing the trajectory of the genre.
We're really proud to be part of it and to be representing females because honestly, there's not a lot of females in the music industry talking about it.
And the path they are paving has taken them to new heights. Conexión Divina is one of 10 Latin music acts at Coachella, a testament to the rapid growing pace of Latin music in the U.S. A new Recording Industry Association of America report shows that in 2022, Latin music revenue topped $1.6 billion, a growth of 25% from 2021.
We're breaking stereotypes. We're breaking a lot of walls that are the industry already has.
As the tune of the music industry changes, the ladies of Conexión Divina are ensuring that their sound leaves a lasting mark to empower the new generation of Mexican music. Inspecting dump trucks that just arrived from Los Angeles to a rural area in Bakersfield, California, Charbel Eid is seeing the first step of a process that fights climate change.
It's a lot of sticks and leaves. There's a little bit of food waste mixed in with there as well.
Charbel is the general manager of Recology, one of the largest companies in the West Coast that processes more than 3,700 tons of organic waste every day.
The material that's coming in comes in from City of LA, City of Burbank, comes in from Gardena.
The work done here diverts more than 1,800 tons of waste from LA's landfill. But not all of the waste is compostable.
And so you can see it's pulling out some more contaminants now. So everything bigger that we see, it doesn't always come clean, so we have to clean it up as best as we can.
An industrial-sized shredder cuts up the scraps, and after numerous screens, the scraps are left for 90 days in long rolls called windrows that usually stretch hundreds of feet long.
And for the first 15 days, we'll turn and water it every 3 days. After that, it goes to about once a week, and it'll slowly start to break down over that time frame. And as it breaks down, we continue to add water to it and turn it, then we go to once a week.
Inside of the piles, oxygen keeps microorganisms working hard in an environment that reaches up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, breaking down the food scraps and turning them into this.
This is about 90 days later. This is what it looks like, the finished product. This is from LA, correct. That's what we're screening right now.
At this almond orchard in Bakersfield, farm worker Juan Cervantes spreads the compost that's not only safe for farm workers to handle, but it creates water-efficient soil.
They bring water from LA. It's all trash, but there's no actual chemicals in it.
Recology estimates that 95% of the compost remains in Kern County. LA Sanitation Director Barbara Romero says this process is part of an important paradigm shift where we need to see our food scraps not as trash, but as a resource.
When we say we're for the environment, this is an convenient way to actually play a role in every day.
An opportunity to reduce pollutants like landfill methane emissions.
Because it's green material, it's food scraps, it doesn't have manure in it, so it has a really good earthy smell to it.
This is just one solution to reduce waste and help the environment. Every week, the waiting room in the Mexican General Consulate becomes Marta Hernandez's classroom, where she not only teaches how to save a life from an overdose, but Marta also hears how the opioid epidemic affects Latino immigrants.
One lady said, if I would have known 2 weeks ago, my son-in-law was home and had taken fentanyl.
Marta, who is a community public health worker for the LA County Department of Public Health, explains in her workshops that the risk of an overdose is much closer than one thinks.
También es para personas que se accidentalmente se les pasa la sobredosis. Medicamento que contiene lo que es el opiceo, que viene siendo el norco, la morfina.
In 2022, LA County reported that fentanyl became the most common drug in accidental overdoses. These deaths account for 59% of all drug overdose deaths, and from 2018 to 2022, Latino overdose deaths increased by more than 1,000%. Marta says that since the start of these community workshops at several Latin American consulates, nearly 2,500 doses of Narcan have been disseminated. And Narcan is highly restricted in Mexico, so immigrants are unlikely to know about it. Tobias Morales Santiago has lived in Los Angeles for more than a decade and is originally from the Mexican state of Oaxaca. Tobias says he came into the Mexican consulate for a passport renovation, but left with vital life-saving information.
Uno nunca sabe. De día a día uno a veces en la calle, en el trabajo, en la casa, cualquier cosa puede presentar y tener esa práctica es muy vital.
Every week, Marta remains hopeful that the information that people like Tobias receive will eventually be passed on to others and eventually save a life.
It does not matter whether you're white, you're Asian, you're Mexican, you're Latino. It impacts everyone.
For now, Marta will continue her mission of informing immigrants and arming them with a life-saving tool.